Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today with Ferzeen Chhapgar. How are you doing, Ferzeen?
I'm doing great, Ben. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me so much, Ben. Thank
It's
you.
great having you here. And get in the comments, y'all. I want to know who you are, where you are in the world. Ferzeen, where are you right now?
I'm in California, Redwood City, California, and
Redwood
it is
City,
hot.
California. Now, that's Northern California, right?
That is Northern California, yes, outside of San Francisco, about
Are there
noon.
actual redwoods in the city of Redwood City?
No, but they do say the climate is the best in Redwood City in the on the peninsula.
Okay, okay. Well, we like that. We like that. Get in the comments, y'all. We're going to be talking to Ferzeen about everything from AI music to mobility to I think we both like spicy food, so who knows, that may come up. I like look at this. I see look at this. I'm seeing William Taylor representing over here
Yeah,
as well.
that's the mayor of global mobility right there.
That is the mayor. That is.
Hi,
Does the mayor
Lori.
go to Redwood City often, or is he, or just
We are
keep it?
trying.
Okay. Get
Yeah,
in
and
here,
there's
Mayor.
Lori, my other co-founder of AIGMH. Hi, Lori.
What's up, Lori? Get in the comments, y'all. I want to know. We're going to do a quick poll here. What do y'all think of AI music? Let me know, because we got a few songs that have been sent to us, over the last year. Ferzeen, I know you dabble, and you've actually given us a track we could play on the show today. Are you a big AI music person, Ferzeen?
I'm a big AI person when it makes sense.
Okay, when it makes sense. Okay. Well, get in the comments, y'all. We're gonna play a little AI music and let us know what you think. And I want to know, have you played around with AI music yet? I know we do a lot of I know we do a lot of, you know, graphic design with AI, things like that, maybe a slide deck every once in a while. But yeah, get in here. Lori says, "Oh, I think things are gonna get spicy now." William Taylor, he's AI music sucks. You cannot replace human creativity. All right, William, I see you over there, buddy. People are in here. That's great. Get in the comments, y'all. Let me know what you think about AI music. We're gonna play a little bit here. Suno is one of your favorite tools. That's awesome. We got Lachi here as well. What's up? Get in there, hit that like button. All right, Sharina, you want to give us a little taste of this music of the song? I don't hate the intro.
We're juggling visas, taxes, flights, answering emails at all hours of night.
It's a duet.
Payrolls yelling,
Yes, there
legals
we
on
go.
fire. Businesses, can we move them by Friday prior? London to Sao Paulo, time zones in a row. One more compliance check, then we let it go. Hold the line, hold the line. Keep it moving, keep it fine. Hey, welcome to the mobility show. Nobody knows where the budgets will go.
Nobody does.
That's true.
All right. That's great. That's great. Let's see here. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know, what did you think of the jingle here. He says not nearly as good as the GM jingle I wrote about 15 years ago. Get me on the show, Ben, and I'll share. Is it karaoke time, William?
Yes, let's get William on the show.
So
That's
where did
great.
that jingle come? Where did that song come from?
So, there are so many changes in the mobility world recently, especially since last September. September 19th is kind of etched in everyone's mind, Ben, when things suddenly change in the US immigration world. And then I got introduced to Sunos thanks to my wonderful AI GMH team. And I started playing around with it. And I was like, I want a global mobility song that kind of shows all the things we do. And then we kind of just disappear from the leadership sheet, right? So when things work out, nobody recognizes global mobility and all the efforts that go into it. But when something fails or there is a something that gets stopped, the whole company literally stops moving because global mobility was not informed or something happened. So yeah.
Okay, and that inspires you to get a song. So Suno is this platform that you've been playing with here for
Yeah,
songs.
Sunos is the platform I've been playing with. Yes.
Okay, very cool. And you have to give it a prompt just like you would give a like ChatGPT a prompt.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things you could do. You could give it your lyrics, you could give it like a sentiment, you could give it kind of the tone you want to have, and also kind of the music if you wanted to match with like a techno music or something like that. And then it creates something for you too. It's great. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
encourage everyone to try it at least once.
Sharina plays music and sings over here.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I might have to get on there and mess around a little bit. Get in the comments. Have you ever created an AI song or AI jingle? Is this where we're going? Put it in there. I'd love to know. It is fun to play with.
Lori
Let me.
creates jingles and songs. Lori does that too.
Okay. She says, "How does it not bring a huge smile to your face?" Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And honestly, the second time I listened to it, I liked it better than the better. I will say that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know, we did, I was at Alma, the resident, for 1 month where we kind of introduced global mobility. And then we had build your own chatbot. So people brought in, like, they could bring their own policies, or we created dummy policy, Ben, and then we asked them, and Jeff Lamos, I don't know, he's like in the
Oh, who's
reward and
that?
total benefits person. But Lori introduced him on AIGMH, and then I reached out to him. And then he made this really funny bot song while we were doing the demo of building a chatbot, where the bot started flirting with the person trying to ask it questions. I can share that afterwards, but it's
Okay.
really funny. It's a fun song.
So were you able to build your own chatbot in the session or in the?
Yeah. So we use Lovable as a tool. So sometimes if you don't have credits, some people ran out of credits, but then we went back. It was just like a trial and error. But yes, if you had all your policy and stuff, you could build a live chatbot. And that is kind of what I also did in my previous role at my previous company, where immigration, they usually put it like an individual contributor role, but it's a team sport. And we get bogged down with so many things. So having this chatbot that could answer preliminary questions was really exciting. So people
And
could go in there, ask what documents they needed for the H1 visa. People could go in and ask if they needed a visa to travel to India, what is the timeline, all of those kind of things.
and where was it pulling the answers from?
So from your own company website. So I for that particular one, I used Notebook LM, which basically is a part of like Gemini, and you could have all of that information within your company firewalls. So that was really
Okay.
fun. Yeah. Have you built a chatbot? Have you tried building it?
I've never built a chatbot before.
Yeah.
Where, what would I build a chatbot for? I'm wondering. I don't know, like an internal thing, like for people that work in my company to ask what the PTO policy is or something. If they go in there and like reference, I don't know what I
You
would
could,
even use it for.
I don't know. If you have kids that ask you the same question, you can build a chatbot and send it to them.
I only have one kid. I expect them to. I only have two kids. I expect to remember it the first time I tell it to them. Like if I only have one kid. Jeez, I almost fired one of my kids.
Yeah.
Kyle says, "Sure have used AI to create the GLRC conference jingle." Oh, Kyle, here we go.
Oh, there we go. We have to
What
hear
was your
that one,
prompt
Kyle.
like, Kyle? Did you write some of it, or like how did you? I need more information, Kyle.
Yeah.
Is this where we're going? Like every conference we're going to show up to as like a custom song?
But that would be great. Why not?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
So they love my background. Yes. Thanks to my other founder at AIGMH, I have this cool background.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reese.
Be
Yeah.
careful. You got a lot of drones out the window over there too. Be careful. I see those. You seen the drones now that kill mosquitoes?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, a little scary, but yeah, they're out there like killing mosquitoes. They can like track them based on their wing, the fluttering of their wings,
No
and
way.
they can zap them out of the air.
Is this like live somewhere?
I don't know. I saw it on the internet. I think it's real. I don't know. You never
Maybe
know, right?
maybe AI created that. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, AI is creating their own prompts. I love it.
We need the mosquitoes.
Speaking of creating stuff, though, tell me about AIGMH.
Yeah, so I love it. So AIGMH came together as so it's AI Global Mobility Hub. And what we were thinking, Claire had posted on LinkedIn. I'm looking. There's nothing on the internet currently that ties like AI with global mobility. Would anyone be interested? And sure enough, I happened to see it. I said yes. 5 other people said yes, and we have this great AIGMH group, which is a learning platform that brings people together to learn and share their knowledge, but also just have them experiment with AI. So that's how AIGMH was born. We do like some hub labs and just like learning sessions where people can come in and play around and ask questions that sometimes we would think about but not know where to ask.
So how is it different than some of the other communities that I see being created out there?
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of global mobility communities. In fact, I love our global mobility community like worldwide. What I think is so different about AIGMH was it was first of its kind that was giving hands-on kind of learning experience. Now more people are doing that, but and it's free, right? It's a learning platform where people come in. We have once a month. We're on a summer break right now, and we hope to come back in September, where people come in and do exactly this: try to build a song, try to go out and write their policy, try to figure out what's happening in the current world, how they could connect Claude Cowork to their emails, and just basic working sessions like that as well.
Well, I like that. I mean, honestly, I know we were trying to do more with Claude here. I talk to folks who are always kind of looking for that application. Of course,
Yeah.
when you work with AI, you realize how important context is to the process. So I feel like having a lab with other people who are in your space probably is a lot more informative than just going to, well, gosh, the self-taught way, or going to a local, community college, even, and taking a class on it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the context would be really helpful.
Yeah, but also what was happening, Ben, was all these companies were throwing AI out, saying that everybody has to use it. I had a CEO say that we are going to be ruthless. And you're thinking, this is not even the way, right? Because AI was there, but the AI maturity is going to take some time to come on. And people are now
Right.
finally, so it was like the internet. Before, people were kind of afraid to send those emails across, and they were still doing postal mail. But AI is similar to that. Everyone uses it now, or almost everyone, for emails or drafting their communication a little more polished. But there are other things that we can do with it. And that's where the AI maturity model comes in, which is just now people are ramping up to that to see where it can really provide value, right? It's not just use AI, it's use AI to create value and still have the human judgments as a part of it, like the central
So
part of it.
yeah, tell me about that maturity model that you just mentioned there. What does that mean
Yeah.
exactly?
Yeah, so it is. So we will just take an example, right? Let's say if you're working in global mobility, so it makes total sense to have them look at the policies, update the policies, send out information, build these chatbots. But when a crisis situation hits, they do need a person in place who can tell them, hey, here's what the next steps are. Nobody wants to talk to a bot then. So building those frameworks and guardrails like that, I think that's what's important in the maturity model that people need to understand as well.
Get in the comments, y'all. Let me know
Yeah.
what you're thinking here about all this. It's just such a time we're in right now. Lori's saying I have used a Lovable to create a personalized invite, a WERC event planner, a Jeopardy board, and more.
Yeah,
Huh,
that's
that's
fine. Yeah, we
interesting.
come up with these ideas too. Yeah, it's fun.
So if people want to get in here, Kyle's talking about him using Claude to assist with the lyrics and Marika for the actual song. Yeah, I was not
Yeah.
available to lay down the track, but I appreciate you. You call me one take hove, right, Kyle? I get in there, I just punch it one time. Anyway, don't worry about that. It's just me and Kyle recording on the side. But no, I would be curious to like join one of these, right? And kind of learn. How do people get involved?
Yeah, so we have a LinkedIn page, AIGMH. We also have a company site that's coming on. We can also invite people, but you can find us as AIGMH or ping me separately on LinkedIn to connect.
H- How do I have to ask because I'm a business person. Like, how do you make money? What's the revenue model for the company?
Oh, so this is not right now, there is no revenue model for it. We are all doing
Hmm.
this out of our goodwill
Hey,
and
it's just
just
like Love and
honestly.
Relo. Okay, I
Yeah,
hear that.
exactly.
I hear that.
Yeah, and just how to get people to experiment, right? At least try. If you don't try, then people will never know. So I even had, actually, it was funny because on one Saturday night I had a bunch of like oldies, that shouldn't say old, like 60 plus people in the room, and even the men got into it because I put their pictures and I was showing them how to get new hairstyles. So it was
So
kind of
there's an application for everybody there. I like
exactly,
that.
exactly. Because
Kyle's
they're
loving
all
the idea of new
nervous.
hairstyles.
Yeah, yeah. People think that if I don't code or if I don't know technology, I can't do AI, but that's absolutely not true.
What's one of the biggest misperceptions about AI in your opinion?
Oh, that it's going to replace humans and it's going to take away all these jobs because new jobs are going to come up. And yeah, it will replace some of them, but there are also other new avenues that are going to come up. And I think we do need to keep the human in the loop. I would
Yeah.
almost pay more to speak to somebody when I call a credit card company than have to press 5 and 7 and 10 to talk to
Yeah.
somebody.
Well, you
Yeah.
say almost, you'd almost pay more. It's like, how much more would we pay? And is that a livable wage? I was talking to my cab driver coming to the airport yesterday. We were talking about what's going on with the cab situation, with Uber, with Lyft, with yellow cabs in the city and other ones, and they're talking about how their wages are being, so depressed right now, and they're only getting like 30% of the fare. And I said to the guy, I said, yeah, I think these companies are just holding on for like a 3-year horizon where they can get to driverless cars. And he was like, oh, I'll never ride in a driverless car. I was like, yeah, I thought the same thing before. And then I took a couple rides. One was in Phoenix last year, actually, with my coworker Daisy. She got to experience it as well. And while I didn't love the experience, I don't know how much more I would pay for a driver.
Hmm.
And I think that kind of is like where we kind of have to get to, right? It's like how much more would I pay for the concierge experience, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And Lori says it's super interesting to browse about some new job titles. Yes, that is true, Lori. I have seen some very interesting AI program manager or some very unique titles that were not there before coming in, where they just want people to come in and do like some hand holding, lunch and learns and things like that. But to your point, Ben, you're right, but it's not just the cab industry where wages are low. If you look at the global mobility positions
Mhm.
that are recently being posted, even like with all the experience and what goes into global mobility, those wages are significantly lower, right? And it's almost becoming a crisis, and that brings me to like the housing crisis in the
Mhm.
Bay Area, like these secret neighborhoods that we
Yeah.
are seeing that many
Talk
people.
about that. Because I know
Yeah,
you
so
just wrote an article about that, didn't you, for the San Mateo Live Journal?
that I did, and basically what's happening, and I see it in my own neighborhood, where unless you are making $500,000, you can't afford to live in the Bay Area and own a home anymore, and it's kind of ridiculous because it's not just engineers or lawyers or doctors living here. There are other people that make other incomes, and there is no way that they have a chance to bid against a $3.5-4 million house, which is just literally a shack in most other parts of the country, to kind of afford living here. So I think that is a constant struggle, and I think companies also need to take some accountability and responsibility when they bring in thousands of people into a certain city to help them and support them. What we are giving back in general to the larger communities.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharina. She just put a link to the article that you wrote
Oh,
here.
thank you. Sharina is wonderful.
She is wonderful. Um,
Yeah. So
Sharina,
how are
can
things?
you put some housing stats too up there? Because I saw something yesterday that said Texas has 200,000 homes for sale. I also saw that 9% of the entire U.S. inventory right now is based in Florida, but it only comprises like 5% of the homes or population or whatever. So there are these pockets of kind of craziness that's happening right now in the housing market, and I do wonder if it's temporary or if it's part of something bigger.
Yeah. So Ben, how do you feel about all these Californians moving to Texas? Because I have some
I
friends in
love it.
Texas, and they are upset. They're like, California is
Oh,
driving our wages, our housing prices.
Californians bring intelligence to the state.
Thank
Um,
you.
I think, I love. Listen, I love Texas. I love Texas. I think Texas has phenomenal personality, phenomenal culture. Believe it or not, people don't think of Texas as a cultural hub, but I think it really is. Between the Western style, the ranch life, the music. I mean, Austin, some people argue is the live music capital of the United States, at least. And so I think there's a ton of culture here in Texas, but I love the Californians coming in. Um, they also come in and they improve neighborhoods. So we have like these houses that are 40-year-old, 50-year-old brick homes, um, that are kind of very dated,
Yeah.
right? And the Californians will come in with like a different vision, and I'm using Californians, but there's people that come in
Yeah.
from outside, from different, areas, right, with different vision about what's possible, and they'll paint it, and we can sit here and argue about painting brick or not, but I'll tell you what, it looks real clean. It looks real nice when they come in and they kind of add and they kind of modernize it, and you just change the door, you change the exterior color, maybe change the landscape, maybe do some hardscaping, maybe because they're from the Southwest, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden now you see some variety in these neighborhoods that before kind of lacked variety. They all kind of look kind of cookie cutter, and everything was the same in the subdivision. So
Yeah.
so I like it from that perspective. I think they also bring different ideas too. I
Yeah.
think some of the people in Texas that get kind of up in arms are because they want to keep Texas the way that they envision it being. But anything that stays the same is dying and not growing. And I think we have to understand that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But also at the same time here we have a lot of development, but all these new homes that they say are for low income housing or just general
Hmm.
housing still cost 5 grand a month. So if the salaries are like not cutting it, then they can't afford 5 grand to pay in rent. And Sharina, I'm amazed because she says about 450,000 to 500,000 Californians have relocated to Texas. That is
Sh-
huge.
she's one of them. She's one of these Californians that snuck in over here, but she's great. That's the thing. It's
That's
like these
good.
people are
I
good
love
people.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it quite a bit. I also, immigrated to Texas 5 years ago.
Where
And in
from?
2021, I was living in Detroit at the time.
Yeah,
And, I just started my company. I sold my home and wanted to be closer to some family for our little children. And so I moved to Texas because it's a great place to raise a family, and it's great for companies because the access to talent is fantastic, transportation's fantastic, lots of great universities over here,
yeah,
and just a good business climate, a good market. But over the last 5 years, it's also gotten a lot more expensive too to live
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where would you move? Are you think Texas is home, or you'd be moving? You'd like to
It's
move
funny.
somewhere?
It's funny you asked that because I was born in Dallas, but I grew up in New York.
Hmm.
And since then, I've lived in Dallas 3 times, Detroit for almost 5 years, Tampa Clearwater for 6 years, Raleigh, North Carolina for 3 years. And I just spent the last 11 days in New York and in the city. And I was like, oh, I could see myself living here.
How could you
But
live at all these places when you only look 25?
it's Botox is what it is. It's Korean skincare routines.
That's
Yeah,
great.
no, no, yeah, no. I thank you, but no, I don't know. I think Texas is home, but I don't know if it's the last place I'll ever live because I've
Yeah,
lived so many places that I couldn't imagine not being mobile.
yeah, yeah.
Get in the comments, y'all. Let me know
Well,
what
it's
you're thinking out there.
313. Tony Hill says 313.
Tony's repping the 313. That's the dirty D right there. That's Detroit. The D. So what's funny is Tony's in the D, which is Detroit, but you know
Oh,
what they call Dallas? The big D. Okay. So Tony, you come on down, all right? You come on down. Yeah,
mm,
this is great.
yeah. And Chris says there's excellent cuisine. I can only think of Salt Lake like this, and when I think about Texas.
The Salt Lick, like the
The
steakhouse or the
yeah, the
barbecue or
steakhouse, the
something.
barbecue, yeah, in Austin.
Yeah, yeah, I miss Chris. We got to go get some barbecue. William Taylor's from 8 Mile. He that's where Eminem's famously from. William, is that where you're from too, buddy? Is that where you're hanging out?
Yeah,
Yo,
he's
I
in my
saw Eminem.
neighborhood.
I saw Eminem. Yeah, but he's from Detroit originally. I saw Eminem 2 weekends ago. William, I went to the Jay-Z concert in New York and he came out. It was incredible.
Yeah. Lori says we have to check out Minnesota. I only think about the cold winters every time I hear that name.
Why Minnesota, Lori? You
Lori's
know what
from Minnesota.
I do? You know what I do think though, honestly? You asked about places I would move to. I
Hmm.
do worry about like water. Like as I get older, I worry about weird stuff. I worry about weather and I worry about water and a power grid. I worry about the weirdest stuff. And I worry about access to fresh water. And when I think about places like Minnesota and Michigan that have all these lakes and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
that might be low key like the spot right there.
Yeah,
Do
I
you think
agree
we're
with you.
do you think we're gonna have to worry about that stuff, Ferzeen?
I agree with you. Others like Phoenix. Sometimes I hear people in Phoenix saying that they don't have enough water or there's a problem because they grew so fast. So that always makes me think that I would want to be somewhere where there is like access to fresh water or the ocean or something like that, where there is water for sure.
Yeah. Do you worry like in California? Do you worry about earthquakes? Do you worry about the power grid? I mean, do you worry about some of these wildfires that we see sometimes? I mean, how much do you worry about things like that? How much do you think it's going to affect mobility?
The earthquakes, not so much at all, Ben. But I mean, I think if you're in California, it's a way of life. But we really don't. There thankfully, knock on wood, hasn't been like a really big shaker in a while. So that's not it. The wildfires have been quite traumatic and sad over the last few years. But in the North Bay, the last 2 summers, we've been really lucky. So wildfires have been, we've been braced from that. Um, in terms of mobility, I think I do see though the landscape changing. Most people that used to have these nice yards with like fresh green grass that my dog used to love to roll on is no more that. Now they have like more of the rock formations and the desert plants in there. And then I was listening to an NPR show where they said that a lot of these farmers that had walnuts and almonds and other places like other orchards like that, they have now
Yep.
made agave plantations out of there. So
I love that for you guys because I'll be honest with you, the almond orchards in California were killing the aquifer. I was reading about this
yeah,
as well, like the height at which water is underground,
yeah,
the depth, if you will. It was just sinking and sinking and sinking. They were having to drill further and further underground to irrigate these almond orchards, which take up nut orchards take up so much water compared to how much like they produce, and
yeah.
so it's a major issue.
It is. And I remember my friend had bought this home in Chico and it was right by it was in the Butte Canyon on the river. And the first few years that we would go there every year for the Snow Goose Festival, it was torrential rain and we would have to think about like flooding because there were these water lines because of these orchard farms that would get filled and we would have to wait to pass the Sacramento Refuge and stuff. But what happened over the last several years, we would go there and it was complete drought. It would be warm in January. We would just be in a t-shirt going to look at the snowbirds migrating. It was just interesting.
What was this festival called?
So the Snow Goose Festival, and it's the last week in January. Before it used to just be like 3 days. Now it's a week long, I think 10 days long, where people come to watch the migrating birds. So the trumpet swans, the snow geese, and all of them. It's wonderful. I highly
That's
recommend
awesome.
it. Yeah.
That's super cool. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know if you think about water. You think water is going to be a big thing? I got a book over here. I don't know if I have it on my shelf over here, but I had this speaker. Where did I go here? I had this speaker named Parag Khanna. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, but in my opinion, he's like the smartest person in global mobility, and nobody's ever heard of him because he's like at the World Economic Forum level. He's like super
Wow.
smart, and yeah. So he came
I'm
and
gonna have
spoke
to.
at Love and Relo 500. Um, would you put a link to him in there? He wrote a book called Move. I've got
Hmm.
like 50 copies laying around here too. I should just give them away on the show.
Yeah,
There
there
it
we
is.
go. I'll
Yeah.
sign up for one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's send Ferzeen a copy. Let's send everybody a copy. Anybody that wants a copy of this book, get in the comments, y'all, and we'll send you a copy.
Um,
But I had to buy like 100 copies of this book for him to speak at Parag Khanna is his name. Parag, Parag,
yeah,
Khan or Kana. I forget which one. Anyway, but no, he talks about the four reasons that people move, and one is for economic opportunity, right? Like that's
yeah,
kind of what we do, right? Some is due to like political strife, right? Like you have refugees, right?
yeah,
Some is due to environmental changes, which we don't think about so much. We don't think people are actually gonna like uproot, but you know, if you've been flooded, like if your whole village is flooded, or if your whole, you know, the wildfires burn down your house, I mean, things like
yeah,
this happen, right? And then
yeah,
people, oh, there you go, perfect.
yeah,
And there was a fourth one, and I forget what the fourth one was, but it was fascinating to think about. And he posits that global mobility is actually at an all-time high and continuing to increase when we as an industry feel like it's kind of low, right? It's kind of like volumes are kind of low.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think about the difference there.
Yeah, Laurie is commenting saying that she thinks about like the impacted people in wildfires and hurricanes that have to be relocated, and employees in those regions, right? Also, not just natural disasters. Now we know in situations of war situations, because when that Ukraine war had started, I know we relocated a lot of people, like almost within the first week, to like other countries from there if they had the right to work and things like that, or if their life was in danger as well. So,
Oh, I've met
yeah.
two Ukrainians in the past 2 weeks. One came and fixed my ice maker,
Ah,
and I talked to him, and he was like a police officer in Ukraine, and now he's
nice.
fixing ice makers. And the bartender when I was in Manhattan, and she's like a motivational speaker, life coach. She spoke at Harvard, but she's over
Well,
here bartending. She
that's
wasn't very happy about that, but she was like, "I'm really
yeah,
smart." I'm like, "You are smart." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to be doing this, but I had to go somewhere because of the Ukrainian invasion."
yeah, yeah. And I think there are multiple factors to that too, right, Ben? So it's like global climate, political, natural, all of that is changing, but also the world population is like it's like the most it's ever been, right? And it continues to be on the rise too. So I think that causes a lot of movement as well. So in terms of mobility, since Marco Polo and the Silk Road, we know that people move for whatever their reasons, and that will continue. It's just how they do it has now become very different.
Well, how they do it, and
Yeah,
will it be company sponsored? Because at the end of the day, we are in the relocation business. We're in the
yeah.
managed relocation business, and that's always a question.
Yeah, yeah. That Chris says more people are migrating to the Great Lakes Basin.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
legit.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
the
I
flood
moved away
waters
from it.
in, yeah, hill country. That just happened a couple weeks ago. I saw a video of somebody being airlifted, somebody's parents being airlifted because they were in the flood zone. So that was very
Yeah,
traumatic in
Mel
Texas.
lives down there outside of like kind of the San Antonio, Austin area.
Yeah,
We call it Hill Country here. That's my grandmother's buried down there actually. But yeah, the floods have been big there. I mean, that river flooded and killed all those girls at the summer camp and everything.
yeah,
So
that's
it's
sad. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Lori's in here said the Global Guardian CEO did a really interesting talk on this at MERC in June.
Oh, I have to look it up.
Lori, put in the comments what was said there, or what maybe one of your takeaways was. I'm super curious about this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think we talk enough about this because, I
no.
think generally we have this feeling the global mobility has kind of peaked, and maybe the industry kind of has from a maturity standpoint, but people are still moving. And it's like, how do we deliver value to those people that are moving maybe on their own?
Yeah, this is a big question, Ben, that even companies are now struggling with, because costs of moving are like at all-time high. People still want to move, and how can companies kind of support them, and at what level? So we know that when people move at an executive or senior level, those moves are seamless and they pay a lot of money, but those moves kind of happen. But on an everyday mid-career level, that's the hardest part at the moment.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I just have to
And
go.
I think that there's like social challenges that we have to overcome. I mean, one of the ones that I talk about is that we have to convince people on the value proposition of moving for work. And I think we also have to convince the parents, the employees who are parents, who have children, dependents, and maybe even, elderly parents, that they can move these other people in their life. They can move their kids, and it won't be too disruptive. It'll ultimately be an experience add for their children, and not like the end of the world.
Yeah, and that is true. I think most Western cultures understand that. The Asian cultures are like catching up to it, but also there comes a time when the distance is so great, Ben. And let's say if you're stuck in the U.S. for like some visa reasons, or you cannot travel at that time because your AP is not approved, and you have a parent that's critically ill or something like that overseas, that is such a thin line that at that point, should you focus on your career, or you focus on taking care of parents and being there for them when they need you? So I struggled with that a little bit as well. And at one point, I had applied for immigration to Australia because I was like, I'm done with the US.
Right.
And just then my green card came through, and but it took 19 years, which was just
Wow.
ridiculous to wait. And there were moments like that where there were family emergencies or crisis or weddings or celebrations that I couldn't be a part of just because I did not receive my travel document in time.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is such a real world example. Let me ask you, as someone who's been through the process yourself, I mean, if you had a magic wand, what would you change about the immigration process?
So there are quite a few things. One thing is, if people are here like by the book and legally, right? Then you just don't make it so hard for them, because every time having to prove and collect those stacks of papers and carry them, things have changed quite a bit now than what it was 25 years, 26 years ago when I first moved, where a lot of things are digitized. But I remember taking the whole H-1B package of like the multiple H-1s and the approval notices, and that was my only hand carry luggage through to making it through back and forth to go back. But I think
Wow.
another thing that I would change from this immigration process is all these fake job profiles that these companies have to put up, saying that we have to advertise this for 6 months and only then we can say that this person justifies for the role, right? To me, there are other people, and this is a time waste, because when you're in the job search market, you apply for these jobs, right? And then you think, oh my gosh, this is a perfect fit. They interview you, they completely waste your time, and then they say they went with somebody else. There was somebody here on your show a couple of weeks ago from HR, I forget his name, and he talked something about this as well, where there's no ownership left, where the companies kind of come back to you saying that, sorry, this is the reason you were rejected or anything like that, especially if you've been there 5, 7 times already through the interview rounds.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
change that process in immigration, those two things.
I always love hearing from people that have been through it because the insights are so much better. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know what you're thinking here. Lori Ryan says his name is Dale Buckner, and the session was all about crisis response. He talked about war, natural
Yeah.
disasters, and global threats. Dale's a former Green Beret. Talked about how 40% of his firm's business is now U.S. based, including responding to natural disasters, stalking, and domestic terrorism. Oh,
Whoa.
there's a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, Lori.
Thanks, Lori, for sharing. I'm gonna have to look him up too.
I want to pivot into a lighter topic though.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on from stalking and domestic terrorism. Okay, I
Sounds
heard
good.
you just wrote a children's book.
I did. Here it is.
I want to see this. Is Furry Fernando's Fiestas?
That's right. So this
I
is
love
about my
that.
rescue dog, who was a senior rescue dog, and he just completely changed my life. We love animals. We've always had animals. Like my friends, even from my kindergarten and high school, think I'm crazy because I always was crazy about animals. And when I
Right.
rescued him, he just like was like no other animal or dog we've ever had in our whole life. He's just a one
Really?
person dog. He is funny. He knows exactly what he wants. You can't get him to do anything he doesn't want. And people would, when I take him on a walk, people tell me, I hope you're writing a book about him. I hope you like document these things. And I'd be like, maybe someday. And now that I was in between roles, this became one of my most creative projects that I've been working on. And I'm so passionate about it, because the pictures in the book are actually photos of Fernando and me that I illustrated using AI. And also his stories that are just lighthearted and warm. And I want people to know that adopting a dog or a rescue animal is something to give second chances, have adventures, and just like change your life. It's basically who rescues who in the end.
Yeah. That's awesome. How did you come about rescuing Fernando? What brought you to that moment?
All I wanted was a big giant furry dog. That's all I wanted. And so
Uh,
I kept looking, and people, when you think about rescues, they always think about like puppies that they want, because puppies are kind of cute, but then they don't
right.
realize when they grow up that, oh my gosh, now it's a big dog, completely different from a puppy. And I was just looking and looking online, and um, there I would go to these adoption places and they wouldn't give me a dog. One, they would look at me because I'm a little bit smaller in stature, and they would not want to give me like a big dog. Or they would say, oh, your house is not big enough, your yard is not secure enough, and they would like almost disqualify me from getting a
Wow.
rescue. And I would think, my God, all I want to do is save a dog. And then I found Fernando at Peace of Mind Rescue, and they said he was a senior dog. So not many people were interested in a senior dog, but he was everything I wanted and more. So he was this big, fuzzy, gentle giant with these lovely amber eyes that I absolutely fell in love with. And I reached out and they said he was adopted, and I was so sad. And then I wrote them this very long email saying that if he ever does not get adopted or is returned, I will take him. And then 3 days later, they messaged me saying he's available. And I was in New York at that time for work. And I told my manager, I have to go back home because I'm getting a dog. And that was it.
Wow. Wow. That's really cool. That's really cool. And then the audience for this book, what's the audience for this book?
So it can be very little children because it has a lot of like pictures, but up to like 7 to 10 years if they're reading, because there are, and each chapter, it doesn't continue. So each page can just be a chapter in itself. And it talks
Nice.
about Fernando rolling on the grass, Fernando going on a trip, Fernando liking to eat a big plate of grilled meat at the end of his travel adventures.
Yeah.
And I
That's
do
great.
take Fernando with me everywhere. So pretty much he goes with me. He waits in the car patiently,
Yeah.
but he goes with me. Yeah.
That's awesome. I might have to buy that book for my I got a couple little babies in my life this year.
So there you
So
go. Let me
yeah,
know what you think.
I will have to do that. We'll have to get a link to, we got it here. Oh, look at Sharina on it. Sharina
Yeah,
put
there
a
you go.
link to the Amazon.
Oh, thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
look
have
at
any dogs?
Christelle. Thank you for adopting, especially a senior dog. Right,
Yeah.
Christelle? I do not have a dog. This is a running joke in the office. Sharina's laughing already. My whole team is trying to get me to adopt a dog or have a dog or whatever that's called. And I don't have a dog. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if I can handle it.
Survival. Yeah.
I travel a lot, I don't know
Yeah.
how do you do it? I mean, can you take Fernando on a plane?
Oh,
Big boy.
a couple years ago, my mom wanted to go to Canada to visit her family. So we basically drove with Fernando and my 80-year-old mom. We did a road trip all the way from San Francisco or Redwood City up to Vancouver, then to Whistler and to Lake Louise, Banff, everywhere. And then we drove down Idaho,
Oh,
like
that's
everywhere.
nice.
And yeah, so we drive with Fernando. We go with him wherever we can. And my sister lives in Scotland, but recently I haven't gone to visit her because my Fernando doesn't board very well anymore. So
Right.
we just stay close to home and close to him.
Get in the comments and let me know what kind of dog should I get. Lobby, my kids are coming home tomorrow. They've been gone for 23 days. I know they would absolutely lose their mind if I had a dog there waiting for them. I don't even know what to turn
Sharina
around
says
when
you
these
need
things
a
are.
golden retriever.
Sharina is kind of a know-it-all. Once you get to know her, she's kind of always has an opinion. Like, you need
I
to get a
love it.
golden retriever,
Yeah. So I think you have to just go with your gut, because sometimes you think you want a certain kind of dog, and that dog may not be the dog you want. So you have to kind of just go with the gut. The dog chooses
My
you
gut
as
is
much
my
as you
gut
do.
is no dog. That's my gut. My gut
Then
is
get
no
a
dog.
donkey. Then get a
A
donkey. They're good
donkey.
watchdogs too.
What kind of house you think I got, Ferzeen? I know you think I live in Texas and I live on acres and whatnot, but I don't have
Yeah.
room for a donkey. It would fall in my pool. I'm gonna have a donkey in the pool. Come home, it'd be a
There we
mess.
go. Not too far from my house, actually. There's a place where there's a donkey and there are llamas, and we drive by every single day to go say hello to them.
The llamas are the ones that spit at you, though, right?
Yes, if you smile.
If you smile, they spit. Oh no.
That's what the legend goes. But I haven't experienced that.
Okay, Christelle says first it must be a rescue.
There
All
we
right,
go.
Christelle, if I was
Yeah,
gonna
that was a
rescue
rescue donkey. Yeah.
a rescue donkey, if I was gonna rescue a dog, Christelle, what kind of dog would I rescue? Here's the other problem I have. My wife is somewhat allergic to dogs. She's gotten better about it over the years,
Yeah.
but she's kind of allergic to them. So that's always something. My problem is the dogs that I do like are not hypoallergenic. The dogs that I don't like that are usually the hyperallergenic ones.
Hmm.
No offense to anybody.
Sometimes it can be easier. Then you get to live with your dog that won't nag you.
Yeah, I get a lot of nagging already. Sheesh, I'll be honest with you.
I'm just saying that. Don't show your wife our show. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't watch. She's already she's good. This is so funny. We've really gone off the rails here. This is awesome. Ferzeen, you know what? We're having a good time here. Let's have some fun. All right. You
Sure.
want to get into a little game we play?
Sure.
All right. We play a game on the show called Overrated, Underrated. All right.
Sounds good.
Do you know how to play the game? Do you
I
want?
do, because I have seen the show before.
Okay. All right. Okay. So she knows. So there's only two rules out there for those of you who don't know. One, I will give Ferzeen a topic, and then she will tell me if it is either overrated or underrated, and then I will tell her if she's correct. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Locked in? Okay, here we go. Overrated, underrated. First one up. Having the answer.
Having the answer always? Is that the question?
That's the topic. Is it overrated or underrated?
Oh, it's overrated.
Overrated. Okay. Having the answer is overrated. Why is it overrated?
Because sometimes you don't always have the answer, and you don't need to have the answer. Sometimes you just have to listen. You don't have to provide any input.
Yeah.
Or what you don't know, you don't know. Everyone's not Google, right? Or AI.
Yeah. This was a big revelation for me early in my career. I remember having an SVP, and I would sit next to him in this boardroom every morning, and we'd go before like the CEO and all the C-suite, and he was overseeing the call center, and I was like the manager of the call center. And every morning we'd have to go, and we have to answer for our performance. And usually it was like 08, 09. It was bad. Okay. It was bad. It was not the goal. All right. Every day we used to call it getting hit with the shovel. And we'd be sitting there, and the CEO or somebody smart would ask us, well, why didn't you hit your number yesterday? And I always felt like I had to come up with like a reason. And the senior vice president was like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And I was just so shocked that he was able to say that was like an acceptable answer to not know. I didn't know you could say that.
Yeah. There was a funny T-shirt that I saw once, and for me that was a big aha moment, where the guy's T-shirt said, "I don't need Google, I have a wife."
Maybe having a wife might be the next one up on this topic here.
Very good.
Yeah, so no, I'm with you. Having the answer, I think, is overrated. So it's okay to say you don't know. It's also good to be able to go get the answer, but
That's true. Yeah.
anyway.
And that also shows integrity, right? With your follow-up, when you tell somebody you don't know, but you're going to get them the answer. And that's very key in the mobility world as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. 1 point for Ferzeen. All right, let's keep it going here.
Okay.
People, overrated, underrated.
People as opposed to
People are overrated. People are overrated. Now that's a hot take. Tell me why, Ferzeen.
because you don't always need people. You need them for certain.
Just need one dog. That's it.
That's right. You just need. So yeah, it depends on the situation, right? So let's put it that way. Maybe I do this: underrated, overrated. They're both.
I think people over. I'm a big people person.
Yeah.
I'm a big people person, but I do think the right people matter. I think we put our emphasis and our priority on the wrong people sometimes.
That is very true. So yes, maybe you just answered it better than I could, Ben.
Yeah.
Saying that people are important. I love people too, but the right people that lift you up are definitely what we need in our life.
Yeah. Somebody once said, it's funny. It's a real trap. You can fall into the trap of buying things you don't need to impress people you don't like.
Oh, that's a good one.
And so I think that's this is just part of it, right? Because the people we see so much out there are not always the people we see the most aren't always the most important. Let's see here. Sharina's loving the customized overrated, underrated signs.
Yeah. I even came prepared with the love, not love, because in your last show you said you changed it up a bit. So I was prepared.
Yeah, we got the love it or leave it, don't we? That we do during the Get Talent show.
Yeah.
That's great. You pay attention. I like you, Ferzeen. Lori says, okay, Ferzeen, I think people are underrated, and I think we saw that with the World Cup. Ooh,
Oh,
interesting. What's
that
that mean?
is true.
Did you watch the World Cup? Were you swept up into that, Ferzeen?
No, just the highlights off and on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So no, I didn't watch. I watched the first game, and then I was like sucked into some family stuff, so I was not able to
Got
follow.
it.
And I definitely did not see the finals. But I was just happy because Spain won, because that's where my Fernando is from.
Okay. Nice. Fernando's Spanish.
Yes,
Nice. I hope
he
he's
was
got his
actually
paperwork.
microchipped in Barcelona. He's a Catalan sheepdog.
So he really came over from Spain.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he need like special paperwork? Did he have his immigration documents in order?
He was already here when I found him, so I don't know, but he did have special paperwork to go to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. All right. All right. Let's keep it moving here. Overrated,
Yes.
underrated. AI music.
Oh,
Underrated, she says. All right. Tell me why.
because otherwise I'd never be able to make music.
You know what? I like that. That's true. I love music. I am not, I do not possess the musical skill. I've not worked on it. Not that I can't, I bet, but like I just never learned. But it would be cool to make music.
Yeah, I think so. And I didn't realize how fun it would be till I actually started. And then I spent the entire day just trying to do it. And then at the end, my mom was like, "Are you going to feed the dog or not? Like, well, what are you doing?" Like, I said, I'm busy. But it was so consuming and so entertaining
Ferzeen's
that
in
I
the
love.
lab cooking up a beat. She's like, I need mom, leave me alone.
That's right.
That's great. I love it. Overrated, underrated. California. Underrated.
No,
Really?
overrated. California is
Overrated.
overrated.
Overrated. Why?
Yeah, because I'm ready to move to Switzerland.
Switzerland. You might have found the only place more expensive than California. You might be a little bougie there,
There
Ferzeen.
you go. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, get the Swiss Alps, the fresh water, the raclette and the fondue, and life is good.
Raclette. Yeah, that is nice. It's just a bunch of melted cheese.
Hmm.
Well, you know,
With
you
some
might like
meat and
Texas.
potatoes.
We got queso down here. You might
There we
like
go.
Texas. Yeah, California. You know, listen, California's special, right? When you go to California, it feels different than like anywhere else, in my opinion. There's like I don't know if it's the proximity to the ocean, you know, or what, but California has a vibe that
Oh, I
it's
love California.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to beat. I was in California in March and I rented a convertible. I had a Mustang convertible and I drove from LA out to Palm Desert
Oh, nice.
and back. And it was such a vibe, honestly. Like, but that being said, like, gosh, it's you know, gas is expensive. I mean, it's an expensive, to your point, expensive place to live.
Yeah, yeah. But I will tell you, I used to travel a lot to the Midwest during my time at like PwC as a consultant. And every time I saw that California coastline, it felt like home. It was so nice to be home.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we have a
Yeah.
LinkedIn user saying that they come from a family of musicians and they would be kicked out if they got behind AI music.
That's Lachi. Yeah. Yeah,
There we
I get
go.
it. I get it. I think musicians would, you know, I feel the same way about AI art, right? So I do
Yeah.
artwork, you know, and I see AI
Nice.
art and I have this like visceral rejection of it. I don't know if that's right or not.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess there are two sides to every coin. Without like overdoing something, we can enjoy it or
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. One more. Overrated,
Okay.
underrated. Food influencers.
Mm, but yeah, I don't like peer pressure.
Okay.
So I
So
like to make up
you don't
my
like
own
the
mind.
food influencers? Why not?
That is also maybe both, because sometimes they force you to try something that may not really be that good, but it's their
Like
opinion of it.
like what? Tide Pods? Like what are we talking about?
I don't know, like
What do they
snake
get
or
you?
alligator or something like that.
Alligator.
I
Hey,
do like fried
I like
alligator
alligator.
though. Yeah,
I do like alligator.
yeah.
I like food. Food is one of my favorite I don't know what you call it, genres you know, of reels, if you will. Like you
Yeah.
know, I like watching people make food. I like them watching them make it more than I like watching them eat it.
I like
I
to
will
eat
make
it.
I'll make some stories about me eating some food. I was doing a lot of bagel reviews in New York
Mm.
last week.
What's the most disgusting thing you ate and you said you're never going to eat it again, or you couldn't even eat it?
Vegemite, probably.
Oh no,
Do you like Vegemite?
it's not that bad. There are other things that are worse,
Okay, such as
like the dried shark fish or some fish that the Finnish or Icelandic people eat with their vodka.
herring.
Herring. I don't know what it
Herring,
was.
pickled herring, I think. Yes.
No, it wasn't
That
pickled. It's just dried. It's dried fish.
that's the one. Isn't that the one when you open the can and everyone starts throwing up because of the smell of it? Have you
Loris
seen
has come to the Minnesota State Fair. No, I don't know. No, herring is like this is like literally dried fish. It's not
Sharina, find this thing. It's the thing that it's from Scandinavia,
Icelandic. Yeah.
and when you open it, you immediately start to like get sick. And
I don't know.
people
They
eat
love
it.
it,
I think it is
but
herring. I think it's a type of herring.
oh, okay, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna see. Sharina's pretty quick
Yeah.
on that.
But other than that, I love like the other food influence. I do like Anthony Bourdain. I do like when they would go and travel on all those places, and I would want to try those places too. So yeah.
So my dream would be to
Mhm.
get Love and Relo and turn it into a relocation food blog where
Ooh.
we go and we visit our friends somewhere, their office or wherever, right? We visit them.
Yeah.
We do a show about work stuff, and then we go into the evening and we go out. We go out for some
Mm.
drinks, we go out for some food, and we meet each other in a different way. We get some of the cultures, whether it's here in different parts of the US or maybe it's overseas, and we do like an Anthony Bourdain. It's like
Ooh, I
Love
like
and
it.
Relo kind of thing. Yeah.
Come back to California. You have to start here.
Yeah, I might. I need someone to invite me out and then sponsor it, and then I probably got to take my producer because it's going to be a heavy lift as far as the camera work goes.
There we
Uh-oh.
go.
Kenna, is it this right here? Lutefisk? I
Lutefisk,
think it
that
might
could
be.
be. Yeah, that could be.
Kenna, what is that? Put it in the comments for.
Yeah, I'm
Me-
gonna have to look it up myself. But Melody says beef tongue. But that
I
can be
brought
very tasty
it can
if
be.
it's
That's
cleaned
see.
well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm making this tomorrow night. I've never made beef tongue before, but my wife and kids are coming back home.
Mm. Yeah,
And I found a barbacoa recipe that is beef tongue.
yeah.
Oh, this is it. This might be it too.
No,
Surströmming.
but this is cooked. This lutefisk is cooked. One second, I'm gonna have to use my phone to find it now because now
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Sharina might be on this Swedish for sour herring. Surströmming. I like that pronunciation. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm making beef tongue tomorrow, Melody.
Icelandic dry fish. It's called harrofrisk. Okay, I'm gonna have to write it down. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like we got a few things we don't want to eat out here.
It starts with the H, Sharina. It's HARO with the funny character FISKUR. That's what it is.
K-O-R. Huh. Harrofiskur. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And they have it with vodka. And apparently you get pretty drunk eating this,
Okay.
drinking vodka.
Well, that helps. That helps. Oh, this has been
Yeah.
fun. We really went all over the place here on this one, didn't we? This is
That was
great.
great.
Lori's great show. Thanks so much,
Thank
Lori. I
you,
appreciate
Lori.
you.
Thanks,
Kenna,
thank you.
Melody.
There we go. There, Sharina got it.
Wow. And she even got the character too.
Yeah, there we go.
Very cool.
Sharina, you're the best. I want to say thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she? All right, y'all. This has been a lot of fun. This has been so much fun. Ferzeen, thank you so much for stopping by the show and just I've had a blast.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ben, for inviting me. And thanks to Sharina and Daisy, because behind every great show, there are some great support and producers. So thank
That
you.
is so true. So
Yeah.
true. Thanks for everybody for being here as well. We see you. Thank you for getting in the comments here. Hit that like button. Let Ferzeen know how she did. Show her some love out there. And we will catch y'all tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you. Good
All
to
right.
see you.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. Take care. See you tomorrow.
See ya.